don't know what the fuck is going on. What the fuck is going on?
What the fuck is going on?
Okay, so long story short, thank you guys for showing up. TC, hello. Red Scorpion, hello. Tube your channels. That's so fun. Yeah, we were having we had a great session around the tapper this morning, and in the process of that conversation, we're talking about what's going on with WaxOnEdge and what's going on with LaunchBAGZ and with Nefty Blocks and with the Nefty show, and sort of what's our sort of kind of longer term vision. What's the actual point, right? It's like bear market. We're all kind of feeling those vibes where we're sort of everything that we say out into the void is echoing in a giant empty chamber, whatever it is, right? And so we wanted to talk about that today because we still have a pretty clear and growing vision for what we're going to be capable of doing with all of these new things. We've been working really hard. The dev team has been working really hard. There's been a lot of stuff going on, so we're going to get into that. Right before coming on air, we were talking about when we think the bull market is going to come, and Juan, you started saying some stuff like, we're speculating. We speculate in private all the time, and by we mostly I mean me. But I mean, like it's relevant, right? I mean, we're trying to figure out, okay, we want to have a really long-term goal with the Tapper app, right? There's going to be lots of short-term goals that are going to be really fun, but like, what's the big holy shit story that people can sort of have in the back of their minds that's like the no coin mortal freaking whatever, not Mortal Kombat, what is the thing, the fucking little hamster combat,
the hamster
or any of them, right? Like having some kind of big story, like what we're trying to decide ish kind of how long we want to go before getting into that. And I think probably waiting to decide is probably the best thing, because we want to obviously coincide with the bull market. So we're thinking, okay, when's the bull market going to be? And I'm still of the mind that it's, Q3, Q4 of next year. And once that's because you're only paying attention to crypto, right? I mean, the whole, I'm going just on Bitcoin cycles, right? Like that stock to flow ratio and the 4-year cycle and the average time between the low and the peak, which has been relatively consistent within kind of a fuzzy order of magnitude or whatever. But then one said, basically like you're just thinking about the crypto markets, and I totally am. So Juan, maybe continue from that thought. Like what were you thinking there?
There was no much there, but if you think about the S&P 500, if you think about the AI stocks and so on, everything has been going up for a while.
Right.
So the bull market is there. Crypto is not joining the party.
Yeah.
No, crypto isn't joining the party, but it doesn't mean that it will join every party and that the bull market cannot be over before we.
I thought there's a whole half of this country that's trying to convince everybody that the economy is terrible. Like what do you mean? There's record highs on the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq.
Well, there's record highs all over there, but the economy is terrible anyway.
It's really not. Listen to me very carefully. It's fucking not. Every single time they try and tell me the American economy is bad, I can come up with 50 reasons why it's not. Inflation is still too high. Some prices are still too high.
Yes.
And honestly, it's more because of price gouging corporations at this point. But like, seriously, the whole idea that some asshole could just say the economy is terrible every fucking 5 seconds and then people start repeating it is driving me insane. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have brought that up.
I don't fully agree with what you say, because I think one thing that if a couple of assholes are saying that is one thing, but the reality is that the economy is bad, because why all of those companies are doing, what all of those companies are doing amazing, because they are improving on efficiency. And what does that mean, improving on efficiency? That means firing shitloads of people.
Well, okay,
so there's shitloads of people that don't have a job right now.
Okay, wait, that's not true. That's just not true.
No, it's just true, because I have a friend at Dell, very high ranking, and we went on holiday together during the summer, and he was firing 26 of his top executives during the summer. So, and all of the big companies are like that. And
so I get the trimming middle management, and that's really one story, and that's important. But the employment rate,
I think that's not a story. I think that's a lot of people that are getting fired and are now without a job, and that's not very good. And the economy is not good with that. You cannot see that growth. You cannot see growth if people don't have a job.
Right. Because the employment numbers are at record highs, but fine. A few people are losing their jobs at Dell, right? Like the overall numbers.
I told you one. There's a lot. I know the jobs market is not doing as good as you think. You think just check the numbers and check the reports.
Last time I did, it was pretty high, like obnoxiously high.
Last time I saw the numbers, they were not the forecast and reality were not very in line. And I think we have a JOLTS report this week or the week after again. I don't know. We'll have to check those.
Yeah. I'll check and turn around that. So at least it's a debatable question, right? So there's an argument that can be had about. Is the economy going well? And really, because the whole vibes thing, clearly it's true that there's a giant subset of people that think
without saying any names, but you will be able to put who is who almost immediately. You have two candidates that might win the election in the US next year. One will have the guy from the SEC as part of the government and doing it more difficult for crypto, and the other one is lying about the amazing things he will do with crypto. So you choose what kind of pain do you want?
Right?
What pain will be playing, yes or yes?
I have a suspicion that one side is going to be better for crypto than they are currently showing people. They just are funded by a lot of the banks. But you're right. The other guy's lying through his asshole about literally everything. So yeah, no, that whole, like, we're trying to figure out, okay, when's the bull market going to be?
Yeah, that's the real question.
I think the underlying thing that I think sort of speaks to everything that you just said is uncertainty, right? Like, we just don't know, right?
Exactly.
I think there's very reasonable uncertainty. So for me, anytime I've looked at that, anytime there's been sort of consumer, investor uncertainty, it always goes back to, what are the miners doing? Are they buying, selling, or holding? And where are they at? Where's the difficulty ratio compared to that? Because Bitcoin is still half the market, right? And so if that's the case, then it sort of lends credence to the possibility that might be the overlying thing that sort of manages the increase or decrease of the market, and then it's going to be next year.
Yeah, I don't know, because you're talking about speculation. So
that's the whole thing that we were doing before, which is like, yes, obviously it's speculation. But I mean, like, and again, I think we need to try and make an educated guess, right? Which is like a speculation anyway. So, like, there's an actual set of decisions that we need to make that could be impacted by this, right? So I think it's not sort of irrelevant speculation or just speculation because Corey wants to talk about something on the internet. Not that would ever happen. It totally would. Right. But like, it's sort of an interesting open question. 2B channels, everybody in crypto is depressed, bored, and exhausted, which means that the bull market will start in October. Rate cuts coming before the election. Not a terrible
in my opinion, that makes a lot of sense, and we will peak before the end of the year, and next year, bye. But that's an opinion and only an opinion. And you know that with opinions, you can do whatever you want because they're
like a-holes. Everyone assholes.
Something like that.
So except for King John, apparently.
But I kind of agree with that view that everything will start pumping in October.
It's possible.
And peaking by the end of the year, in my opinion. But I don't know.
It's not. Yeah, I mean, they've been signaling they were going to do rate cuts for a long time, so it's not going to surprise me for them to do that.
But to be honest, I'm a very terrible gambler, so
and really, like, the we should say, obviously, we're not financial advisors. This is sort of, we were bringing an internal conversation, here, because I think we're all kind of crypto people. It's sort of interesting to walk through, and obviously, we want to get all of your opinions as well. TC said bull run will start when we were at max pain. I don't think we're there quite yet, unfortunately. Although I'm freaking sometimes feeling like I'm getting close. So I guess this is kind of good, right? So if a couple things in October happen and we start to see the crypto markets react to that, that's a very important signal for us, right? Like, we're gonna know, like, if it crashes through all-time high on Bitcoin and starts to fucking rock and roll by the 3rd, 4th week in October, okay, well, it's bull market, right? Like, that's going to be a testable thing to know. And if that's the case, And if it's like, holy crap, this is probably going to burn itself out before the end of the year, then that probably does have an effect on the kinds of things that we would want to do with the Tapper app and everything else, right? Like that, we would want to sort of be able to position things to ride the wave.
I think that shouldn't be something that that really defines what we're doing, because that's, in my opinion, a big mistake that a lot of crypto-related companies do. They plan for bull and bear market. I think that you should plan long-term, and you should plan to be profitable in the worst possible conditions. If you don't manage to do that, then you are doomed to failure, because the worst possible conditions will come and they will be worse than what you anticipated.
I fully agree with it. We should plan for that, and I've always wanted to plan for that, right? Like that, the idea that we could actually, make sure that we're profitable through the bear market. Yes, but you would also have to agree, because you were the one that said it. You got to make hay while the sun shines. All of the profit, of the profit made in crypto is made during the bull market. Not some of it, literally all of it, right? The rest of the time, it's like, can we survive the bear market, basically, right?
Exactly, but you should plan to be able to navigate through the bear market and do it, because if we're not able to do that, then we have a problem.
Yeah.
Then we have the problem that we had. For example, where do I see that problem the most? With, for example, NFT projects. NFT projects done by people who were not really crypto savvy people. Yep. They are basically lots of those projects disappeared. The teams just disappeared if it wasn't an individual or whatever. But they were not ready to survive a long bear market. And yeah.
I mean, this is the thing. Like my whole take on this, and it's been proven out too many times. The stuff that comes in during the bull market has to last for 4 years. It's just like, how many times do we have to see this fucking movie before we understand what's going on? And nobody ever really plans for that. I shouldn't say nobody. I've seen companies that have done that, and they're the ones that are still here.
Maybe, but I can also tell you that people think that everything is exactly the same as it was in the past, and no, it's not. And this time we already saw that Bitcoin made an all-time high before the halving. Never happened before. Now you have that, and that's something that might affect how things evolve in the near future. That we might have a different cycle this time. I'm not saying that it will happen. I just think we should be open to the possibility of things not repeating in exactly the same way that they have repeated in the past.
Yeah, no, that's always smart,
and that's what I mean.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. And really, like, we really do want to figure out how to become not just survivable, but profitable during the bear market. I mean, that has to be the thing. 2B channels, if no profitable business models are possible during bear markets, does crypto even make sense? Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
I fully agree with that. And I think that, yes, crypto makes sense. The problem is that teams should plan for that, should anticipate that. And and if their platform business model or whatever they have is not capable of surviving a bear market or going through the bear market, maybe they shouldn't be here.
There you go. Okay, so Mas, shout out. Alpha got into Ton Nest program. It's mentorship plus support system provided by Ton. A, didn't know that exists. That sounds fucking awesome. And B, congrats, because you're awesome. That's really cool. Okay, so
cool. Yeah, so that's very, very cool.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome. So back to the point, which I think, like, honestly, that's kind of an interesting setup to the conversation that we wanted to have.
Yes.
So, where is what the fuck's going on with Nefty Blocks?
That's a very good question, and in reality, it seems like we don't know, but we don't know. Because if you see in the last few months, we have been expanding the amount of things that we do. Initially, we had Nefty Blocks, which is the platform for NFTs, for NFT creation, all the creator tools for NFT collections and so on. Also the marketplace side of things, and and so on. But recently we started doing different things by creating LaunchBAGZ and having meme coins and partnering with WaxOnEdge to start exploring DeFi possibilities. And
sorry, finish.
yeah, and we have been developing in that direction since a few months.
Right, and I think where it seems like we're doing different things, but there's so many possible interconnections that I think it all kind of comes home in a lot of really interesting ways, right? Like NFTs themselves might flag or get more popular as times go by in an arc or whatever.
Yeah.
But one thing we noticed on Nefty Blocks, and we have a fucking ton of fun with it, right? There's ways to give tokens a use case. You can use AI God to sell stuff or buy stuff or whatever it is, right? So there's those things that we can launch a token on LaunchBAGZ, we can trade it on Nefty Swap, and all of that stuff gets integrated. I mean, obviously that you can have NFTs that you get and then mine, right? Like there's like different pieces of this technology that can then start to kind of serve each other.
Yes, absolutely, and I think that's the cool thing about the ecosystem on Wax. I think that there are a lot of tools for NFTs that you cannot find on other chains, or basically all of what we do is possible in other chains. The only thing is that the tools that exist on Wax, if you wanted to do something like that on other chains, you will have to develop from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I wonder if that's the way it should also be on Wax.
Sorry, how do you mean?
Well, I mean that we are providing, and not only in Nefty Blocks, but there are many platforms on Wax providing a lot of free tools, and that makes it so that people comes, tries, and is not really fully invested in their projects because it's too cheap to fail. If you think about it, think about the guy from the doc.
Yeah,
the doc token.
Perfect example.
He came here. He had $50 in his pocket. He said, "Let's try this."
Yeah.
And it didn't work the way he wanted. He disappeared because it was how much am I losing? $50.
So you're entirely for going back to my idea of having a $500 minimum TVL.
Not entirely, because I think that's not the problem. The problem is not with the TVL. The problem is somewhere else.
Like we need to be invested, and that makes them invested.
Yes, to some extent that might solve it, but I think it's not the only problem.
Okay, what's the other problem?
When you start providing tools that do exactly the same thing for everybody,
mm-hmm.
you kind of stop or you cap innovation, because then everybody's doing exactly the same thing. If I build a tool and it's available for you and for other 500 teams, then there's no innovation there, unless I'm the one innovating. But for the end user, there's no innovation. All the end users will get exactly the same, maybe different
variations or whatever.
Variations of that same thing. So I think that's not totally good for the environment. It becomes very monotonous.
Can you think of an example of a different chain that provides less tools that has more innovation or more variable use cases?
Ethereum.
But they have tons of systemized stuff. Like, don't they have a bunch of like the Uniswap, like a bunch of open source stuff?
Yes. But having open source stuff does not stop innovation. That even increases innovation.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, for example, things with NFTs.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, things with NFTs. If you think only about minting, minting will be basically the same. But then what you do with those NFTs, you can find very innovative projects, or how the art for those NFTs is generated. You can also find very innovative projects. For example, even ourselves, we developed for this guy based in the Netherlands, we developed an NFT system that changes the image of your NFTs depending of the price of Pepe. When it goes up, it shows a certain number of layers, goes down, shows different layers, and so on. That kind of things you get if you are willing to partner with a developer or pay for a developer. and get that kind of things going on. But if I offer you blends, I offer you a way to mint, if I offer that, people are not really investing in creating different stuff, things that others can't provide.
Okay. I'm going
Because okay, let's make this generic. Depending of the price of the token, then you have 10,000 collections that are offering exactly
they're all
the same,
doing the
and
same.
it's cool the first time, but after that, what's the point?
Yeah. I find the time it takes for transactions on ETH to be extremely annoying. I find almost everything about ETH really annoying.
I fully agree with you.
But again, we've been spoiled, right? I mean, that's sort of there's people that never left Ethereum that don't really know anything else and don't care.
Absolutely, and I think you got it totally wrong if you think like that. The thing with Ethereum is that it's still the chain with the highest TVL, and it's with most of the huge DeFi things happen. And the reality is that only DeFi is making money on crypto. The way to make money is when you have fees for something, and enough volume, and that's what you still have on ETH. There are a couple of chains that also have some volume now, decent volume, but if you compare to Ethereum is just
should we just start a new Wax chain that does microtransactions like Sol and just be done with it?
Well, it's
I know there's like a tanker truck of baggage on that question, but
yeah, and the thing is that I think that many people think that this is about technology, but I think it's not about technology. This is totally not about technology. And if I go back to what I'm saying, that DeFi is the place to be, the place to go, that's why we are investing in making things like LaunchBAGZ, which you might say, oh, it's a meme token launchpad, but in reality, you can launch any kind of token that you want. You can do that with whatever kind of token you want. And you can say there are other alternatives. Yes, there are other alternatives on Wax, and you can also do that. But I think that LaunchBAGZ adds a lot of cool features, like the possibility to creating your liquidity directly, reusing the farms that are somewhere created by WaxDAO and stuff like that. So I think that it has the possibility to be a way more complete platform.
Yeah, I agree. And it really just like the whole idea that the entire meme or token launching and sort of curating experience we're trying to gather into the one platform, right? Like you want to see all the information about it, you go there. If you want to see warnings about it, if you want to get some really good information on it, that already exists, right? And the rating system is going to get more robust and more powerful as we go, right?
Absolutely. But as everything, it has to make sense. It has to make business sense. Right now, we are developing for 50 people, for 300 people, and it's too expensive. Developing for 300 people is ridiculously expensive. Yeah, maintaining this platform for the amount of users that we have right now, from a business perspective, doesn't make sense at all. So that's also why we are creating the Tapper, the LaunchBAGZ Tapper application, which, by the way, we will be releasing, Corey, on Wednesday next week, right?
I mean, hey, finalized is finalized, fam.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a great session on that this morning, guys. By the way, getting some of the numbers sort of sorted out and stuff. It's it works.
Yes,
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and the idea is that application should bring us a decent amount of users, because without a huge community, whatever we are doing doesn't make sense. TC, there will be a tiny brief testing season. You will be invited for sure, and to make you extremely happy, because we love you, the application is fully functional on desktop. You can use it on desktop. Yes, Red Scorpion, you too. You will get the link.
So TC and Red, I seriously talked about literally just having a meeting with you guys and walking both of you two specifically through it. to get your opinion. So the fact that both of you guys are asking about that is really good. So yeah, no, I definitely want to show you guys what's going on and sort of the TC is super unexcited. Anyways, yeah, and it's I mean it's pretty slick. It's pretty slick. Yeah, even especially on the numbers, we did a lot of work on sort of the number progression on some of the stuff. And I think getting some more opinions about sort of what that looks like short term, long term, I think it's gonna be really valuable. So anyway, I'll chat with you guys after.
Yeah, but also again, building that kind of application with the amount of effort that we've put into the application, the infrastructure that we have created, how it can scale, and so on, won't make sense if we don't get to the number of users that we want and that we need. Because, and also having a tapper, it's fun, but it's useless. It's nice to have a lot of users, but at some point you have to offer all of these users something. And of course, there will be the BAGZ token that comes at some point, and will give everybody access to a nice airdrop. And we are really working to make this work. For example, the R1 token was like an experiment to start understanding how to launch such a token and make it successful. Right now, we are kind of not as successful as expected, making mistakes, learning from the mistakes, and so on. But yeah, for me, an application that does only that and will last only 3 months, 4 months, 1 year, if you want. For me, 1 year is a total excess for this kind of application. I don't know if I will still be playing after 1 year, but yeah, who knows? But what I really want to see, what I want to have in the LaunchBAGZ application in the near future or in the future is having access to all of the tools that we are building. Just imagine that you can come to this Tapper application, and here you're able to participate in token launches. But yeah, let's say that you're not into meme tokens and you don't want to do this. Well, maybe you're into trading and you want to trade directly from the Minia App. You don't want to go anywhere else. Or you want to just swap tokens. You want to participate in farms. You want to buy NFTs, to mint NFTs, whatever you want. That should be possible from the LaunchBAGZ application. So in the end, I see the LaunchBAGZ application as something that allows people to interact with all the platforms that we have built in the back.
Yeah, and I think that especially like the longer term stuff, I think it's going to be really, really good to sort of have. And honestly, we should even set like a monthly meeting to sort of, okay, like what's the, we have our long term plan with BAGZ or whatever. What have we learned in the last month that's going to be really useful a year from now? A year and a half from now, right? And I think where you're headed is exactly that, right? Like if you have, we sort of have the front door, the sort of user acquisition, like the, kind of portal through which we market this stuff and sort of bring people into our ecosystem. But then like we have all of this stuff in the app that is our ecosystem, starts to reduce friction and starts to create some really, really interesting sort of stuff, right? Like the whole idea is like the Nefty swap and the WaxOnEdge stuff with that liquidity, again, the fees or whatever that kind of makes it hopefully a little bit more economically viable. But then that attack, like you can do stuff with that stuff and Nefty Blocks, and have all of those things start to interact in really, really cool ways, and all of that being done in the Tapper that can we can have seasons based around specific variables of that like down the road that are going to make things really interesting in the long term.
Yes, and I think in the future there will be room to do more of those activities, as you said. But the application will also be like the door to all of what is happening behind.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe at some point, it should even be blockchain agnostic.
Yes,
it should be a tool that allow you to have access to different protocols in different on different chains. Because that's what makes sense. I think we all love Wax here, but I think that this tool should be like a curation of all the platforms to which we have access and provide a benefit, a profit opportunity for the LaunchBAGZ application user.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I can totally see a world where we just go completely multi-chain, but it's like embedded, and I've talked about that on air 100 million times. When crypto is actually getting, sort of real user-facing, consumer-facing for like the rest of the world, not just us weirdos, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be in an app, and you might not even know what blockchain you're on, and it won't matter, right? Like it's just you're going to have stuff, and it'll be on the stuff, and you'll be able to do stuff, and everything else that is unnecessary is abstracted away from the user. Because that, I mean, ultimately, we saw that happen with the internet, right? The internet started with like a fairly, whatever complexity level or what have you, and it just slowly turned into, no, you just tell Google to do whatever you want, and then it happens, right? Like you want to sort of abstract all the unnecessary bits away from the user experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. Sign me up. I want to go to there.
Yeah, so basically that's what we want to see, something that allows us to integrate all of what we have, and then when it's NFT seasons, we have an NFT platform. When it's DeFi season, DeFi summer, we have DeFi platforms, and so on. So that's where we want to go.
Booyah! All right, well, that's what the fuck is going on with all this stuff.
Yes, that's what's going on. And the launch of the LaunchBAGZ app next week.
A little thing here and there. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead, Corey, please.
I was just thinking, like, to sort of give people some hints about, like, the first 2 weeks we have a bunch of stuff planned. I think integrating a lot of the tokens that are sort of working and functional and will have some kind of life moving forward. I think it's going to be a fun celebration of kind of how far we've come so far with LaunchBAGZ, and I'm pretty stoked for that. So I think it's going to be a busy first 2 weeks to sort of give people some advantage and some prizes and some freaking claim airdrops and all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah, and the idea is that every 2 weeks we will have something cool happening, a lot of activities, and at the end of every 2 weeks we will have some raffles and stuff with very nice prizes, in my opinion. Okay, info on the next mining season for R1. Yes, I am still working on the details. We have lots of things going on with the app right now, so I haven't fully defined everything. But as mining goes, the amount of tokens that we will be able to mine will be reduced in some percentage, and the current miners will start mining at a lower rate. We will have a sale of new miners for wax, and this wax will be used to buy back the token. We also still have some wax reserved to buy back the token. We haven't started doing that because it doesn't make sense. If someone is paper hands and wants to sell, keep on selling. Buying back will happen later when it makes sense. We are also defining some new mechanics with blends and for NFTs, blends that will happen with NFTs that you can buy for R1, and there will be several rewards for the people who reach a certain level with the blends. I will get all the details soon for that, but the idea is we will have around $2,000 worth of WOF in rewards for R1, for the R1 blends. So that could be very cool, and we will also change the pools. I think that I was not really aware of how the WaxDAO pools work, and now that I understand them, I think it's a complete waste of time forcing someone to stay there 45 days. So that for the next rewards will go away. And if you want to go away after 24 hours, please be my guest. It's the 45 days was a mistake and won't happen again. So basically, that's what I'm planning for that.
Yeah, I think that works out. Can you post the R1 leaderboard?
Leaderboard.
Do we know what that is?
By leaderboard, you mean who's mining more? That's something that I will have to check with the dev team. And yes, it would be cool publishing that. The only thing right now, the devs have been working on the Minia App, so we haven't developed any of that. But yeah, maybe it makes sense to. It makes sense to have a nice leaderboard. Who owns the most? That's something you can check directly. You just go to the R1 page and you go to rating and you scroll down, and after the liquidity pools, you can see who are the top holders, and you see there everybody who's who are the biggest holders.
FlipTribe's leaderboard is the best leaderboard. That's because red and pseudo red are dominating. By the way, FlipTribes is still the test is still going really strong. The low power mode is going really well, and that we should have some more announcements on that this week as well. It doesn't show if you have it staked, the R1. But
yes, that's true. Yeah. That's difficult to track, especially because it's not a contract we own. But true. That's not there.
Yeah, getting a leaderboard that sort of tracks maybe if you've sent it into LP or if you've sent it into like that. It gets really dicey. I almost want to see like if for me, if there's a leaderboard, so you've got R1 staked, and that staked R1 is your score, right? Like maybe it's earning something, maybe it's not, but like if that's how much you have free. You could be out earning more, fine, but how much you actually have stacked in one spot, because then that becomes an actual token sink all on its own. Can you post LaunchBAGZ page on a new computer? What does that mean? I mean, technically, you should be able to go to LaunchBAGZ from any computer.
Yeah, I guess TC wants the link.
Super confused. It's wax.launchbagz.com?
wax.launchbagz.com /
same as it ever was.
/ the real launch _R1.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That.
Oh, okay. Got it. Oh, yeah. Freaking service with a smile there, Broseph. Easy peasy, bobeezy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So,
but overall, I think that all the DeFi activities will start being more important to us, or at least to me.
Yeah. Why specifically for you?
Well, because I truly believe that that's the way to survive in the crypto ecosystem. I think that if we want to make it through bear markets, bull markets, and whatever, we have to do more than only providing tools for creators, because everything that is creator dependent works very well during a crazy bull market with tons of users. But if we are active users and active participants on the DeFi ecosystem, we should be able to generate enough revenue to survive and to keep our team working.
There you go. Yeah, makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
So
that's. I think we're gonna have. We got Dennis from AI God is coming tomorrow.
Yes.
Russell from Asvoria is coming on Thursday. I'm sure we'll have some more updates on by Friday. Maybe I'll see if I can get. I got to talk to Tuttle. Maybe we can actually kick the Flip Tribe season off on Friday. She might have
That
some more
would be
stuff to do,
cool.
but yeah, it's kind of like
That would
bang
be
the rest of the
really
week.
cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. And yeah, the strategy bit of it, I'm telling you, it's all just going to be trying to catch up to Red and his brother, because they're they're good, and it really is. Like it's. I love that it's a skill based thing, but also I kind of fucking hate it because I have to get way better at it. I need to be way smarter so much of the time. But it is a blast. Like I went in and started making a whole bunch of new cards, just because with the low power mode, with the max total power being 55, the 10, 11, 12 total power cards are much more interesting. And I realized I didn't have that many of those. So I went in and started cranking some of those out. I need to do more, actually. Good.
Yeah. On a different note, there's something that worries me a little bit with our tokens, and I want to be very transparent, and I don't know how we will handle that.
Okay.
Because USDT will be phased out of WAX at some point, because it's no longer possible to bridge it through EOS, and then at some point we will have some kind of problem with that USDT. And I know that right now the WAX team is working on bridging USDC from Solana.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty confident that will happen. But what happens with the burned liquidity? Because it's burned liquidity with USDT.
I mean, it stays there. It's there forever.
I agree, but then you will never trade that.
I mean, after a year, probably not. No.
Yeah,
but I mean, that's not. There's nothing to be done about it. So
no. Well, yes, there is to be done, but I don't know exactly what are the consequences.
Okay, all right, we'll find out.
I don't know exactly how to manage that, or what will be the impact.
Yeah, I mean, I think understanding the impact might just be it's locked up tokens, and that it becomes deprecated, right? Like people want to.
No. It's not only that. Just think about this. It becomes deprecated, so possibly USDT on WAX will lost its peg to the US dollar, because it becomes worthless. You have a lot of tokens that are there, and you will be able to buy all of these tokens on WAX with a USDT that it's worth basically nothing. So you will be getting them for a very cheap price. So what's the impact? I don't have a 100% clarity, but that might happen.
That's interesting.
Yes. Yeah.
Something to ponder.
Yeah. Because it's not that they will stay there; they will be retrieved for sure. But how? And, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
I wonder if it loses its peg. Then I mean that's interesting. The price variability on it's going to change, right? So the arbitrage bots are going to smooth it out, or people just using it will smooth it out.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how that will go, but the bots will play an important paper, I think.
Yeah, that's
an important role.
And yeah, if any of you guys have any thoughts or opinions on that over the coming weeks, again, like USDT is going to be around for I think like almost a year still. But
I think less than a year, because it was 1 year since they announced.
A while ago, yeah. So maybe 9 months or 8 months, whatever it is. Yeah. Okay. We'll start thinking about it. It's a good plan. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to cover, or should we break and meet back up tomorrow?
Yeah, let's come back tomorrow, and we'll have Dennis with us.
Booyah. Yeah, I'm stoked for that. All right, cool beans. All right, man.
Hey.
Oh, I got to get my body in front of this thing. Hold on here. Nailed it. All right.